Alright everyone, on YouTube, it's time for a storytime video. Today we're going to talk about my first ever DJ system. Well, let's go back to 2002 when I first got into DJing for the very first time ever. And it was with nothing fancy, it was just a boombox and my CD collection. And my first DJ gig was at Collins Park, and it was in Conway, South Carolina. Obviously, because that's where I still live, in Conway, South Carolina. And right down the road from where I live now is a park called Collins Park, and there's a building there where I had my first ever DJ gig. So, yeah, my first ever DJ gig was at Collins Park in Conway, South Carolina. And I DJ'd there twice, once for my 8th birthday and the other for my brother's 6th birthday, and then I took a break in 2002. It lasted till like 2009, maybe 2010, when I had my iPod Nano, 4th generation, 8 gigabyte, and it had a ton of playlists on there. And I connected it to the Emerson karaoke machine that I got for Christmas in 2008, maybe 2009. So I think I got it in 2009 because I got my Michael Jackson CDs that year as well. So, yeah, it was back in Christmas 2009. So it was probably in 2010 we had our first party. Because we didn't really do much through 2009 when it comes to DJing. So in 2010, I guess our first party ever was a 4th of July party of 2010. And then we had a Halloween party in 2011, our first ever Halloween party in 2011. So in 2010, we used the Emerson karaoke machine, and we connected my microphone to it, connected my iPod to it, and it was all good to go. And I still use CDs every so often with that karaoke machine. By pushing on the door, it would pop out, and you place the CD on the spindle, you close it up, and you start playing the CDs. So I still use my CDs probably in 2009, maybe 2010, when we had our first party. And then I used my iPod as well. So I was switching between CDs and my iPod, so that way I can just have a variety of music from both the iPod and also the CDs. And I didn't have any fancy speakers to connect it to as well. So it wasn't until 2010 that we went to Kohl's and got the innovative technology 1980i boombox, which had a 30-pin dock connector for the iPod Nano, a USB port for the USB flash drive that I had at the time, which was a PNY flash drive, and also an SD card slot where I would just put music on an SD card and play it from there. And it also had an auxiliary jack for connecting my Sirius satellite radio, which was a Stiletto 100 at the time, because it was like 2010, maybe 2011. My dad just got a built-in Sirius satellite radio, so he gave me his old satellite radio, the Stiletto 100. I used that for a while, and it was an MP3 player, it was a satellite radio, it was an internet radio. So it was basically that Stiletto 100 I got into internet radio for the very first time ever. So I used that 1980i innovative technology boombox from 2010 2012 when I got the Ion Block Rocker for Christmas. And at that time I was using the iPod Touch. The iPod Touch was my first ever iOS device, and that's what got me to streaming music for the very first time. So during my DJ events, I would just play music right from the iPod's music player, or stream the music from Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and so many others that I found on the iOS App Store. And I used that up until 2014 when I got the iPhone 5C 16GB blue AT&T. And then I used that for 2 years. And I used the iPhone 6 for about 2-3 years. Let's see, I can't remember when I got the iPhone 6. But that was the last ever iPhone that was used with the block rocker. And then I continued to use that phone for this right here, the Monster Rock and Roller 3. And then in the summer of 2018, during my DJ gig, before the DJ gig of Kids Camp Family Night, I got the iPhone 10, which is what we're recording with right now. And it was, it didn't have a headphone jack, so I had to connect it via Bluetooth, and that's what I did with the Monster Rock 3. So I switched between the iPhone 10 and my computer. And I think I only used the Asus computer once for music. I mean, I don't recall using the Asus EPC model 1005 HAB Nepo computer that I've had since Christmas 2009 and got rid of in like 2017 and gave it to a friend of mine because I no longer need it because I had the MacBook Pro. So the Asus EPC was my first ever laptop, and I use it mostly for music organization and syncing the iPod to it. And then in 2011, I continued to use iTunes until 2015 because I still use iTunes to sync my music to the iPhone 5C 16GB blue AT&T. I mean, it was a great phone for about 2 years. And then I upgraded to the iPhone 6 in like 2016, 2017. So I've had it for like 2-3 years, and it was a really good phone. I would have kept it if it hadn't died on me, because I was, I guess, playing with the kids on the slip inside, and my phone got water damage, and I had to get a new phone. So yeah, the iPhone 6 was probably the last ever phone to be used with the Ion block rocker. And then I switched over to the Monster Rock 3 in 2017. So for about a year, the first year of using the Monster Rock 3, I used the iPhone 6. And then I was switching out between the laptop and my iPhone between those years. And then when I became the church DJ in 2018, it was the summertime, and they wanted to have a block party to, I guess, reach out to the people on Burkell Road, and they got me to DJ, and this is all I used. The MacBook Pro, mid-2012, 13-inch. And the program I used with it was Apple Music. And then in Christmas of 2019, in Christmas of 2018, I started to DJ with my first ever DJ controller. So after the Burkell block party went, really well, I decided to, I thought to myself, hey, why don't I invest in a DJ controller? Since I was becoming the church DJ and I was getting a lot more gigs, then I was just, using just the laptop. So I needed to invest in a DJ controller to get me into the basics of DJing with DJ software, my music collection, and so much more. So on June 24th of 2018, I purchased this guy right here, the Numark Party Mix. My first ever DJ controller. And I purchased it on June 24th, 2018. And it was mostly used here at the house until Christmas of 2018 when I got to DJ my first ever gig with this thing. Because my first 3 DJ gig logs were actually using just the laptop. because during the Kids Camp Family Night, the Bikes and Trikes Parade, and my family's 2018 Halloween party was all done using just the laptop itself, because I didn't have any music whatsoever in my DJ software, so I had to use whatever I had at the time, which was Apple Music. And all my playlists were all built using Apple Music. But then I purchased the Numark Party Mix on June 24th, 2018, and it arrived at my doorstep on June 28th. So it took about 2-3 days to get to my house. And on June 28th, 2018, I unboxed this puppy, and it was an amazing controller. I was just getting into DJing, and I was such a noob when I first bought this, because I thought that, I didn't know how to register the product. I didn't know how to download the software. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff, because I was just getting into DJ equipment, and I guess I was looking all over for the license code for this controller right here, the Numark Party Mix. And after much fidgeting with stuff, it was actually on the Numark website. So I was a super noob back in the day. But I've grown over the years as a DJ, going from this thing to the Pioneer DDJ SR2. And when I first unboxed this thing, I didn't have any music on my computer whatsoever. So I was saying to myself and to the camera that I was going to get my music from the place that DJs should never, ever, ever get their music from: SoundCloud and YouTube. I mean, if I was going to take my DJing seriously, I had to choose SoundCloud and YouTube. And that was a pain in the butt, especially getting my first ever set of music. But then, after a short period of time, learning the hard way, I finally subscribed to the Audio Content Unlimited service powered by iDJ Pool, built into Virtual DJ. So that took me a few months to get into. So during Christmas time, I got to use this thing at my first ever DJ gig with this controller, and that was the Adventure Beach Christmas Party of 2018. And I had all my playlists built in Virtual DJ from iDJ Pool, which was the Audio Content Unlimited service from Virtual DJ, for about $10 a month. And then I got a brand new DJ record pool, and that was BPM Supreme. That's what got me into using Serato DJ Lite. So in January or February of 2019, which is this year. So this past January or February, I switched over to BPM Supreme. And then I switched over to Serato DJ Lite, because I guess I wanted a much easier way to add my music into the library. So I switched over to Serato. And it really was a life changer for me as a DJ. And it really simplified my DJing career when it came to just dragging and dropping the music into Serato crates as I went along. And then I used Serato crates from January or February of this year, 2019, to like the summertime, when I got into building up my iTunes library back up again. I was canceling Apple Music just to get a music streaming service that was compatible with my DJ software at the time, which was Serato DJ Lite, and I had to get Tidal. And Tidal was more convenient for me as a DJ, and it still is, even today, using the MacBook Air 2018 with my Pioneer DDJ SR2 controller. I'm still using Tidal, I'm still using my iTunes library, I'm still using all that stuff. So, I used the Numark Party Mix from June 24th of 2018 to July of this year, 2019. So this past summer, we finally put this thing to rest, and I haven't used it since then. Well, I've used it as a practice controller, but yeah, I've used it as a practice controller, but I haven't really used it as much as I used to. So that was my first ever DJ controller. It taught me the basics of DJing and using the basic controls of being a DJ, which are the jog wheels, the up faders, the cross fader, the tempo sliders, the equalizer on both decks where we have Q, treble, and bass, the up faders, master gain, Q mix, Q gain. He even taught me how to use the pad modes for effects, cues, loops, samples, for a 1, 2, 3, and 4. He even taught me how to scratch. It taught me how to use the headphones, to cue up the next track. It taught me how to use the lights that were built into the Numark Party Mix, and I was able to connect it to any of the speaker systems I was using at the time. And it really taught me the basics of DJing. This thing isn't broken yet, but it will be. So that's why I don't want to use this thing as much, because I don't want to break it. So we have the SR2 now, and it's a much more durable controller for hardcore DJing. So, when it came to the MacBook Pro, I used it as a DJ computer from August 2nd, 2013 to this year, 2019. So it was my DJ computer from the years of 2013 to today, September of 2019. So I'm no longer using the MacBook Pro, I'm using the MacBook Air. Since it's in much better shape. Yep, it's in a much better shape than the MacBook Pro ever was. So I'm going to take really good care of the MacBook Air. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to plug our computer, the MacBook Pro, straight back in and fix it up. I think we'll just use the battery for the rest of this video, because I think we're almost done with this story time video. But yeah, my first DJ setup consisted of the Numark Party Mix DJ controller, the MacBook Pro mid 2012 13-inch, and the Monster Rock and Roller 3. And the computer was running Virtual DJ LE. And that was my first ever piece of DJ software, and I didn't really use it much, so yeah. Here we go. Plug it in. I think it's pretty much dead. Pretty much dead at this point. And it doesn't work. So, yeah, I used the MacBook Pro from 2013 to today, September of 2019. A little over 6 years later. Wow. There we go. It's finally working now. It's just loose cable. Yeah, it's loose cable. I didn't know how dead this thing was. So we're gonna fix this up a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short little story time video about how I got into being a DJ and how I got into DJs. Basically, this was a story telling you guys about my first ever DJ system and how I got into DJ equipment and the story of my DJing career. So I'll see you guys probably in the next one, which is probably a DJ gig log, because I don't think I have anything planned for the rest of this month. So I'll see you guys in the next video, which is another gig log at my cousin Livia's house for her 15th birthday party. See you guys then. Peace. This DJ Cole thing out. And make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, because you don't want to miss all the new videos that are coming out in October, like future DJ gig vlogs. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.